Stakeholders from across Africa, Asia and the Middle East have gathered at the 13th Sunculp Africa Summit to discuss how developing economies can become stronger engines of innovation, trade and sustainable development. The summit focused on unlocking capital for African businesses and strengthening South-to-South cooperation.
What we are looking in Global South is more, I think, solutions that understand each other. It is not a top-down model. It is more that we think alike and we tailor solutions. For example, whatever we are doing today with Kenya or other African countries or countries of Global South, our first question is, we have done it like this. How do you want to do this? Because every country has its own peculiarities. You have to fine-tune the solution to that. So we say, we can do this for you, but how do you want it to be done? What are your sensitivities? What do you want? So I think that is how we look at South-South partnership. I think I am not saying that North-South partnership is not, it has delivered, it has been there. But I think there is this factor when we talk about South-South partnership.
The long-term vision is that how we can make the basic amenities of health, water, energy, financial inclusion be available to all the underprivileged. That's the larger goal. And we want to do this through the innovative business models, through entrepreneurs who are local, who are building those solutions here in the Global South. And that's the vision that we are saying, rest everything contribute to that vision. So that's the larger goal that we are looking for.
The 13th edition of the Sunculp Africa Summit brought together investors, policymakers and entrepreneurs to explore new pathways for accelerating economic growth across the Global South.
It's not only about the pot of capital, it's also about the experiences of designing those instruments together. That's also what Sir alluded to. So for us, South-South-led financial architecture, financial innovation scores more on a strategic nature of the relationship in the global context. And operationally, it is more likely to yield better results because it's designed by the local realities baked in.
Discussions centered on how to unlock capital flows into African enterprises and scale up the commercialization of innovative ideas. Participants identified key bottlenecks slowing progress, including limited access to quality projects, weak funding mechanisms, and policy gaps.
How we adapt technology to the needs of the people, I think that will define. For example, we were speaking about artificial intelligence a few days back in New Delhi, which was the largest conglomeration of AI policymakers, innovators, and users and all. I think every technology, how we adapt to the developing countries, that will be the key. And I think there will be many areas, whether you talk of fintech or agri-tech or even space or other things, how we leverage technology for the common benefit of our people at large.
There were also strong calls for government to play a more active role in supporting private sector ambitions and enabling cross-border collaboration.
Government plays a role of supporting the environment to make it a little bit conducive for ventures to succeed, for startups to succeed, and that creates jobs for people, improves the quality of life, and so on and so forth. We know also very well that we are not the ones who do the business. Private sector does the business. And we need to be supportive to private sector and engage. You know, we're not like trying to direct and whatever. It's to engage, to learn, because things are morphing and evolving every year, every time. And my interest as CEO of the Innovation Agency is to be at every Sunculp forum every year, not just Sunculp, but any other innovation forum, being championed every year, to learn and then to intervene. And then to respond to issues, because sometimes information is an issue. Maybe some interventions have been created already, but people are probably not aware. We engage with the startups and kind of try to understand how might we guide them better, because sometimes they don't know that they can receive certain support somewhere. And by interacting also, we kind of get a sense of what are other countries doing? So I don't need to go to all the countries that are present here to kind of figure out, there's a challenge we're facing here, and some country has resolved it in the following way. Maybe we can tweak this and it can be relevant to our context. So it's mutual the way I see it. It's an opportunity to keep supporting the ecosystem, leveraging the private sector effort, and secondly is to keep learning on how we can iterate and be a lot more useful to the ecosystem to thrive.
Stakeholders say the outcomes of this year's summit are expected to shape new investment deals, policy collaborations, and strategic partnerships in the months ahead, further reinforcing Africa's growing influence in the global economic landscape.
Part of our advocacy, again, to funders, local and international, is in making sure they provide appropriate financing instruments to these kind of ventures. And that's why we are here in a private sector forum, and there are a lot of investors in the room, and we are playing a catalytic role to say you can tweak your financial instrument to make it more appropriate for these guys to scale because they understand the local context, and you will probably get better returns for your investment.
The summit comes at a time when developing economies are seeking stronger collaboration amid shifting global economic dynamics.